Welcome to the second half of the BattleBots at Home New Blood Special. Last week we did the qualifiers. Now it's time for the round of 16, and today we will crown a New Blood champion. As you can see here, the remaining 16 bots have been set up in a single elimination bracket. If they want to win the whole thing, they'll have to win 4 fights in a row, and only one bot will come out on top. Who will it be? Let's get started. For our first fight, we have Hypershock and Radiation. This is actually a rematch of an exhibition fight that happened a while ago. Hypershock easily tore Radiation to pieces. However, for that fight, Radiation used their vertical spinner. This time, they'll be doing something different, and they'll be using their axe configuration as a different method of attack to see if that can work better than what happened before. Will it be enough to change the tides, or will Hypershock win another fight against them? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Oh my god, and already Hypershock is taking massive damage as their wedge is flown across the arena. I don't even know how that happened. It disappeared like nothing. I really don't know what just happened. Was there a glitch in the Matrix? The wedge just flew off for no reason. Regardless, Hypershock at a massive disadvantage. Without that wedge, they're going to lose the ground game from this point onwards. And Radiation can take advantage of this fact. Oh, but there goes a side panel of Radiation. Radiation's hammer is twitching. There might be some damage. It's not firing correctly. Speaking of hammers, there goes the polarizer on top of Radiation. Hypershock getting to the sides of Radiation because that's the best they can do without that wedge. They'll have to get to the sides and doing a good job. Radiation stuck in the corner. They might be stuck. Hypershock really wants to take care of business as soon as possible, and they're doing a good job. As you see the frame of Radiation start to bend, and this is not looking good. The wheels are out of place, and we're going to start a count out anytime soon. Radiation really gave Hypershock a scare. But when you go up against a bot this deadly, it only takes one small mistake to end your run. Things actually looked very scary for Hypershock as their wedge just flew off for pretty much no reason. I still don't know how that happened. And Radiation seemed to be winning this fight until Hypershock regained his composure. It took off a side panel, and then it managed to just back Radiation into a corner, literally, and they never let them out of that corner. It just slammed into them again and again. They did not care, and eventually Radiation just couldn't handle the punishment. They died, and just like that, Hypershock moves on to the round of 8. Up next, we have the Melty Brain Spinner of Mindbender going up against the Front Hinge Flipper of the Lowest. Both of these bots had dominant first round matchups. However, now it's time for them to take on each other, and only one will advance. Who will it be? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Mindbender, a very long, very dangerous robot that hits very hard, but the Lowest gets underneath them, puts them onto the screws. That was very dangerous. Oh, they're getting underneath them again. Mindbender spinning up the speed once again. So much power in those two weights, but the Lowest isn't scared as they get underneath them. They're on the sidewall. Oh, they're stuck there. Oh, and just like that, thrown right out of the arena. The Lowest has won this battle. Impressive stuff from the Lowest. Mindbender out of the competition. The Lowest knew how hard Mindbender hit, but they didn't care. They tanked those hits and always closed the distance as soon as possible, prevents further spin-ups, as it takes a long time for those heavy weights to get spun up really fast. And they got some amazing flips with that front hinge flipper. Eventually they got him into this corner, and they never let them go. It took a few tries, it wasn't easy, but eventually they were able to flip this very long bot right out of the arena. Impressive stuff from the Lowest. Up next, we have Disco Inferno versus Esper. Disco Inferno may just have the biggest and most destructive weapon in the competition right now. However, Esper has a deadly weapon of their own in the form of a massive flipper, and they use it to flip their last opponent out of the arena in less than 30 seconds. Which one of these two amazing bots will move on? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Disco Inferno spinning up that very deadly disc. Gets a good hit on Esper. Breaks off the tip of their flipper immediately already. Esper in a lot of trouble. They get hit once again. Turned around. Thrown into the wall. And they're stuck in the screws. And I think that might be it. Yes, I think that's it. Esper does not seem to be able to get freed from the screws. The count has begun. And Disco Inferno will be getting a very, very quick KO. And a ticket to the round of 8 just like that. So, Esper is a flipper, but you may have forgotten because they didn't do a lot of flipping in this match. Poor Esper never got a chance to fight back. They didn't get any flips in because this Gunfire was just so aggressive. They kept on attacking them again and again. Esper turned around and their life was turned upside down as they got thrown right into the screws, got stuck there, and they were down for the count. Esper goes out of competition while this Inferno advances. In our next fight, we have the full body spinner of Megabyte going up against a control bot known as Paradox. Let's not waste any time and let's get into the fight right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Two amazing bots about to face off right now. Little nip right away. Paradox getting underneath them, grabbing Megabyte immediately on the pole. Megabyte's a very small target. You see the massive side shift between these two bots. But Megabyte using that density to cause damage with their massive shell. Or, well, not now, as they're getting grabbed and puts right into the pulverizer. Oh, but the pulverizer breaks off one of the little grabbing, the thing, I don't even know what it's called, but some damage has been done to Paradox. But they don't care, they're still able to grab Megabyte and put him into the other pulverizer. This is what Paradox is meant to do. While Megabyte is meant to do damage as a spinner, Paradox is meant to control as a control bot and doing a good job. Oh, or maybe not, as they lose the rest of that grabbing arm. And I'm not really sure what Paradox can do. They're just a wedge now. A really effective wedge as they keep getting underneath Megabyte. Megabyte, as a horizontal spinner, has no ground game. They're meant to just hit you as hard as possible and end the fight then and there. But Paradox, despite taking massive damage, is not afraid to continuously go after that weapon. Megabyte just getting smothered here, pushing to the screws. And if they can't KO Paradox quickly, things could go from bad to worse, as they can't show any control and aggression if they keep getting pushed around. Now they're on the very long wedge of Paradox. Paradox pushing them into the pulverizer once again. No hits there, it doesn't matter. All pushed right here into this pulverizer. Now we get some hits. Megabyte just in a lot of trouble. Paradox may have lost on damage so far, but they are winning on control and aggression. And if they keep doing so, they could come back in this fight. Megabyte just getting pounded right now. Megabyte just can't get away to spin up. If they can't spin up, they are useless. Pushed around once again. Megabyte just trying to do their best as they get smothered once again by the big wedge of Paradox. A good hit to the sides. That's what they want to do. They want him on the side. They want to avoid the weapon and hit them on the sides, because that's where they can actually do damage. Oh, like that! Thrown right across the arena. And Paradox, I think they're down for the count. They're all huge hit there. Yeah, I think Paradox has officially died. That hit really killed it. And we're about to get a count out. And this was a really good back and forth fight. But in the end, Damage won. And Megabyte showed why they should be feared in this competition. Now this was an amazing fight. Paradox doing what it could to control Megabyte as well as they could. But the problem was that they controlled the fight for 2/3 of it. But they kept taking damage even when they were winning. And that damage eventually piled up. They did get several good grabs on Megabyte, and Megabyte just didn't really know what to do at first. But as mentioned before, all those little hits, eventually they added up, and there wasn't much Paradox could do. Megabyte, things weren't easy for them, but in one massive hit, they ended the fight just like that. We just saw one bot from Team Robotic Death Company in the form of Megabyte. Now it's time for their second entry, Cobalt, to take on the amazing Burger Time. It's time to find out who has the deadliest weapon, the sharp vertical spinner of Cobalt, or the incredibly delicious burger of Burger Time. Let's head down to the box right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. The bots are squaring up with each other. Burger Time fires that weird projectile. It does nothing, but all of that burger doing stuff as they get some solid hits on Cobalt. They get behind them. And it already seems like Burger Time may be able to pull off an upset, or maybe not, as the burger weapon breaks off. Oh, but they get underneath Cobalt and they almost flip them over. That was critical, because Cobalt cannot self-right. One good flip over could be all it takes to win this fight. Cobalt doesn't want that to happen again as they get underneath Burger Time. Burger Time still has that sword. Maybe they can do some damage with that. Oh, there goes more pieces off of Burger Time. Burger Time, pieces of them all across the box already. But that little lifting arm, it's their biggest chance to win this fight. They can flip over Cobalt, they can win the fight. But Cobalt isn't going to let them do that. Cobalt getting some more hits in. Oh, another huge hit there. Pushed into the corner. Oh, more pieces go flying off of Burger Time. Now is not the time. There goes the lifting arm. With that, Burger Time no longer has any weapons. They have no food. They have no burger. They have no lifting arm. And they may not have any chance of winning this fight. As Cobalt pushes them on the side, they're stuck on the wall. They can't self right from there. And unfortunately, everyone's favorite burger bot has been turned into ground beef. Cobalt, oh, there goes the burger. Cobalt really hungry for more destruction. And unfortunately, that's the end of Burger Time. Now, I will say, Burger Time was not completely outclassed here. They did get some good attacks in with that burger on top of Cobalt. Some really good attacks then and there. But unfortunately, after the hammer broke off, there wasn't much they could do. Cobalt just so low to the ground, so ferocious. That spinner is so deadly, and Burger Time never knew what hit him. Burger Time's a great robot, but unfortunately, Cobalt was just better. They move on to the round of 8. Up next, we have a throwdown between everyone's favorite junkyard bot, Rusty, going up against FBF, the full-body flipper. Let's get into the action right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Two different bots about to go up against each other. Rusty gets a good attack. Oh, flung across the arena immediately. FBF, oh, and that's it already. In less than 9 seconds, Rusty just thrown out of the arena. They can't get down. Rusty, are you going to be okay? I'll take that as a no. The winner is FBF. Well, that was fast. I don't know what to tell you. It's a good thing Rusty had a helmet because they got sent flying. Rusty never got a chance to fight back, just thrown out of the arena immediately. FBF, really brutal flipper. They aren't taking any prisoners this season. They're ready to show why they are feared and deadly. Rusty will be going back to the junkyard, it would seem. In our next fight, you won't want to miss this, as the amazing Revolutionist returns to face off against the incredibly unique and different robot known as Walking Mess. Last time we saw the Revolutionist, they obliterated optical illusion in about 10 seconds. It was incredibly destructive and violent, and shows just how deadly that massive disc is. However, Walking Mess is something they've never faced before. It's a shuffler, and also has a massive hammer. Which one of these two bots will move on, and which will fall? Let's find out right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. That massive disc of the Revolutionist is just so threatening, but the Walking Mess is not afraid as they fire the hammer. Revolutionist, that big blade, they only need one good hit to end this fight, and they're about to get one. Walking Mess has that hammer can turn in any direction. It is mounted on a turret. You see them hitting Revolutionists despite being backwards. That hammer can hit in any direction, 360-degree, full motion, but the Revolutionist doesn't seem to be too afraid either. Both these bots have powerful weapons. Who knows what happens when they collide. Revolutionist, a big shot by the Revolutionist, big power shot there. But Walking Mess doesn't seem to care as they fire the hammer once again. Oh, there goes one. Oh, never mind, there goes both. There goes both of the Revolutionist's drive pods. And that's going to be it. It doesn't matter how powerful your weapon is. If you don't have any wheels, you're not winning the fight. And in a massive upset, the legendary bot known as the Revolutionist will be going out early as Walking Mess marches onwards to the top 8 in amazing fashion. I won't lie to you, I definitely did not expect this outcome. Walking Mess really showed that it is not to be underestimated. Revolution, that disc was always a threat, but Walking Messes had their own deadly weapon. That hammer was so powerful, it hits with so much force, and Revolutionists just didn't really know how to handle it, and eventually their wheels were just smashed off. I've never seen anything like it, and Revolutionists will be revolving no more. It is now time for BattleBot and Incredible to face off in our final fight of the round of 16. Who will get the last spot in the round of 8? Let's find out now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Both these bots want the last spot in the top 8. BattleBot getting hit by Incredible immediately. Incredible has a massive weapon, while BattleBot has a massive lifter slash flipper. BattleBot, just an awkward shape of Incredible. They haven't been able to get a good lift in. Oh, or there they go. And suplex. They're carrying them like a hat. That's incredible work from BattleBot. BattleBot showing their stuff. Incredible, not afraid. They have enough torque in that weapon to self-right, fortunately. Oh, good hit on BattleBot. BattleBot, not afraid, though. Pushes them onto the side. They self-right, however. And oh, huge piece there. There goes a huge chunk of BattleBot. Lots of damage done right off the bat. Oh, but there goes the Skeleton Man of Incredible. He's not doing so good. The two bots go head-to-head. Incredible gets flipped over, pushed into the corner. They need to self-right. And oh, what just happened? BattleBot just got sucked into the screws. I don't know what just happened, but I think that's it. I've never seen anything like this. They just got sucked into the screws. And that's going to be it. We got a countdown. And looks like this is a movie where the superhero dies in the end. Incredible moves forward, while BattleBot dies a horrible death because of the screws. Well, this fight was interesting to say the least. Incredible got some incredible shots of that massive bar spinner. BattleBot wasn't a slouch either, as that lifter was so versatile. They lifted up Incredible, but fortunately Incredible was always able to get back up even when they got put down. And they were able to do some damage to BattleBot despite BattleBot having such a weird shape. Incredible takes off a massive piece of BattleBot right then and there. That was pretty insane. But that wasn't what killed BattleBot. BattleBot was actually doing fine. And they were pretty much winning this fight as they were flipping them. But then that little piece of decoration on the back of BattleBot, they got a little too close to the screws. And it just sucked them right in. BattleBot, what a terrible way to go. But Incredible moves forward in this incredible fight. And now we're down to just 8 competitors. We are in the quarterfinals. And for our first matchup, we have Hypershock taking on the Lowest in a match that is sure to be explosive. Let's head down to the box right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. This is for a place in our semifinals. The Lowest getting to the sides of Hypershock. Good flip there. Good attack by the Lowest immediately. The Lowest knows they need to avoid that weapon to get to the sides. As they're doing, gets to the sides of Hypershock. Good driving from the Lowest. Oh, but there goes the wedge of the Lowest. Hypershock rips it off, and there goes more pieces. And the Lowest in a lot of trouble right now as Hypershock keeps up the aggression with that powerful and deadly weapon. The Lowest self-rights, but then gets thrown immediately into the screws. And oh, there goes the wheels, and there goes the rest of everything. And it's all over! It's all over! Hypershock has annihilated the Lowest. They've been obliterated. There's pieces all over the box. The Lowest will be leaving the box in a body bag. This is pretty much the only real attack the Lowest got in. A good flip. Nothing to be ashamed of. But from there on then, it was all about Hypershock. They got underneath him, and once they started attacking, they never stopped. They just destroyed the Lowest as quickly as possible. Pieces flying everywhere. Never seen this kind of damage done before. Hypershock so deadly, so dangerous, and they could win this whole thing. Hope you got your popcorn ready, because Disco Inferno is back in the arena. This massive disc spinner has just been destroying bots left and right. And you know they had a hiccup in their first qualifying fight. They came back, they destroyed everyone in the wildcard rumble, and we just saw what they did to Esper. Their opponent is the deadly full body spinner of Megabyte. What happens when these two powerful spinners collide? Only one way to find out. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. 2 weapons. Oh, already Disco Inferno has been flipped over, and I don't think they can self-right. And there goes the weapon. We've already begun a count out, and I think the fight's already over. Disco Inferno seems to be down for the count. Megabyte has won this fight very easily. Disco is dead. Well, I don't know what to tell you. We're just going to show the same shot over and over again. 1. This fight lasted 1 hit. After that 1 hit, Disco Inferno was just done. The two bots met head-to-head. Disco Inferno got the worst of it. They fell on their side, and there's nothing more they could do. So when you have 2 big spinners, sometimes it only takes 1 hit, and everything ends then and there. What an amazing fight, if short but sweet. Up next, we have Cobalt, the British Vert, taking on FBF, the full body flipper. FBF has been incredible so far. Both of their opponents have been thrown out of the arena in such a short amount of time, and Cobalt, if they're not careful, could be their next victim. Who will move on to the Final 4? Let's find out now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. This is going to come down to who has the lower ground. FBF gets hit from the side with Cobalt. Cobalt getting underneath FBF. Remember, Cobalt cannot self-right. One good flip from FBF could be all it takes, but Cobalt is not giving them a chance. And they take off one of their self-right mechanisms. As FBF gets behind them, we get a flip now into the Pulverizer. All huge hits there. Cobalt gets underneath FBF. FBF does have one more self-righting mechanism, but if they lose that, they'll be done. Oh, another good hit by Cobalt. And FBF just doesn't have time to recover from these massive shots from Cobalt. There goes the other self-right mechanism. And without that, if they get flipped over, it's going to be all done. FBF, without those arms, cannot recover from getting flipped over. And Cobalt has just won the ground game every time. FBF upside down. And there really isn't a lot they can do. As Cobalt continues to attack them, this isn't good enough for them. They want to completely annihilate FBF right here, right now. FBF just cannot get up and over. That flipper only works one way. That's why they needed that self-right mechanism. And now they're being counted out. Anytime now. I see. Oh, another huge hit from Cobalt. And the FBF looks really sad. All the wheels have just attached. And I think that's it. Cobalt shows why they are so dangerous. FBF won't be doing any flipping anymore. Cobalt is your winner. This fight came down the ground game, and Cobalt was just a lower bot. FBF flipper was useless because they could never get underneath Cobalt. Cobalt always got underneath FBF, and Cobalt used that spear, and they tore him to pieces. Several hits. It's just such brutality from Cobalt. FBF was very interesting, but they've been outmatched. Now it's time for Incredible to face off against Walking Mess, who's still coming off of an amazing upset win over the Revolutionist. Let's see who will win this incredibly destructive throwdown. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Two very interesting bots. No one ever thought they would make it this far, but they have. Good hit by Walking Mess. And the spinner of Incredible is just flown off. I don't even know how that happened. And there goes the tip of the hammer of Walking Mess, but clearly Incredible is taking way more damage. There goes the Skeleton Man, just hit across the box into the Pulverizer. And the Incredible, in incredible amounts of pain right now as they're getting hit by the Pulverizer. They have no weapon, they have no Skeleton Man, and they have no hope of winning this fight. Just more hits from the Pulverizer. More pieces go down, and Walking Mess just not giving them an inch. Incredible not doing so well. And now they're flipped over, and if they weren't dead already, they surely are now. The countdown has begun. Walking Mess, kind of being a poor sport about this, kind of a sore winner as they attack the Skeleton Man. There's no reason to do that. The Skeleton Man gets grinded up by the screws. What just happened? Walking Mess will be going to the semifinals. Talk about broken bones, that poor Skeleton Man. But also Incredible themselves. Their weapon just exploded. And from there on, then they were never the same. They're pretty much done at that point. Walking Mess just absolutely showed them why they are so dangerous. Walking Mess, a very interesting bot, but they've made it this far, and they're going to continue to go further. And then there are only 4. That's right. After all this fighting, we're down to just 4 of the best new machines we have. And 2 of them are from the same team. Team Robotic Death Company has managed to get 2 bots in semifinals in the form of Cobalt and Megabyte. There's also the incredibly fast and very dangerous Hypershock. And of course, a bot no one expected to make it this far, the very unique Walking Mess. This is an interesting lineup, that's for sure. As we head into our first semifinal matchup, things are sure to get crazy as Hypershock and Megabyte are ready to tussle in a battle of 2 of the most destructive bots in the competition. I highly doubt this will go to judges. One of these 2 bots will die, while the other will thrive and move on to the final. Who will it be? Let's find out now. 3, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Amazing initial attack from Hypershock as they throw Megabyte right into the wall. Huge attack by Hypershock right off the bat. Megabyte not scared though. That weapon on Hypershock very powerful, but it would seem that it's not spinning right now as they slam into Megabyte. Yeah, I'm correct. The spinner of Hypershock is no longer spinning. I think the weapon has gone down. That's really bad news. At least they still have the wedge. Hypershock to... I spoke too soon. Now the wedge is gone. And without the weapon and without the wedge, I don't really know what Hypershock can do now. They're still slamming into Megabyte, but Megabyte has the advantage as they're now able to just get underneath Hypershock with relative ease. And just all into the polarizer. There just isn't much Hypershock can do now. The weapon's gone, the wedge is gone, and Hypershock is going to need to pull out a miracle if they want to win this fight now. They're keeping very aggressive though, so that's helpful. But Megabyte, very durable, and that shell's been very deadly as I push into Hypershock once again. That shell is so sloped, it's basically like a 360-degree wedge, and without their own wedge, Hypershock can't get underneath them. They just keep riding over them like a ramp, and there isn't much they can do. You see Megabyte just getting underneath them again and again, into the polarizer once again, and Hypershock is just in a lot of trouble right now. Usually Hypershock has been so dominant during this tournament, but they have exposed a big weakness, as Megabyte has shown us. Into the other polarizer, Hypershock is just in a lot of trouble right now. Megabyte pushing into Hypershock once again. They may be a spinner, but are acting like a control bot right now. Hypershock drives over them once again, trying to do their best. Megabyte just another huge, and Hypershock on the wall as they drive over them once again, and they're out of the arena. I don't know how that happened, but Hypershock's out of the arena and out of the competition, and Megabyte will be going to our grand final. This was incredible. Massive hits from Hypershock to begin the fight, just froze Megabyte like a frisbee, but after that their weapon just went down, and without that weapon there wasn't much they could do. They did have the wedge, but eventually even that didn't last long, as Megabyte with a massive hit just breaks off the wedge, and from there on then the fight was pretty much done. Hypershock had no means of attacking back, and eventually they just got pushed right out of the arena. There is now only one more spot in the final. Will Cobalt be able to join their sister team, or will Walking Mess continue to stun the world as possibly the biggest underdog story we've ever seen? Who will take the dangerous vert of Cobalt or the very powerful hammer of Walking Mess? It's time for our last semi-final to see who will face off against Megabyte. Let's head down to the box right now. 3, 2, 1. Let the box battle begin. Walking Mess has already gotten a few upsets during this competition. Can they get another one? Cobalt, a very dangerous opponent, but that hammer of Walking Mess very dangerous in its own right. Cobalt coming in for a few hits anyways, just uppercutting them into the air a little bit. Nothing too bad, as Walking Mess gets the upper hand to get behind Cobalt. Cobalt slams into the screws, and there goes one of their legs. One of their legs is stuck underneath Cobalt, but Walking Mess is stuck in the screws. They can't move, and I think that might just be it. Walking Mess can't do much. There goes the hammer, and I think they're officially done. We start a countdown, and Cobalt will be facing off against Megabyte in the final, and all Team Robotic Death Company finals, while Walking Mess, their run ends right here. Cobalt, I think you have a piece of Walking Mess stuck in your teeth. Cobalt just so dangerous. Walking Mess was a great robot, but not good enough. That hammer was outmatched by that vertical disc of Cobalt. Cobalt just showing why they're so dangerous and why they're going to the finals against Megabyte. Walking Mess tried their best, but their best just wasn't good enough against Cobalt. Cobalt moves forward to our grand final. Now, before we get into our final match, we still need to determine who deserves third place. And so Hypershock and Walking Mess will be getting back into the arena one more time to see who will take the bronze. Let's head down to the box. 3, 2, 1. Let the third place playoff begin. These bots can't win the whole tournament, but they can at least gain the pride from getting third place as Hypershock gets behind Walking Mess. Two very different bots. The hammer of Walking Mess firing on top of Hypershock. Hypershock had weapon issues in their last fight. Will they arise once again? Walking Mess just trying to fire that hammer as hard as they possibly can. They lose the tip of that hammer, but they aren't. That's not too bad. Hypershock with a good ram into the wall. Walking Mess is there goes the hammer. There goes everything else. And just like that, Walking Mess has been disintegrated by the immense power of Hypershock. Hypershock easily earns third place and shows why they are a threat. We look forward to seeing them in BattleBots at Home Season 3, whenever that comes out. Walking Mess is now a mess of parts. Hypershock is just so incredible. They took a few of those big hits from Walking Mess. Walking Mess has a powerful weapon, but Hypershock just took those shots like a champ. And then when it was their turn to hit back, they hit hard. Walking Mess, there goes the tip of the hammer. There goes their life as Walking Mess is just obliterated. They are dead, and it was incredibly hilarious. Well, here we go. We're down to just two lean, mean fighting machines. And it's a sibling rivalry, as Megabyte and Cobalt will battle it out to determine not only the new blood champion, but the best bot from Team Robotic Dev Company. Speaking of death, these two monsters have destroyed every opponent in their path. Both of them have won 4 fights in a row. Neither have lost, but that's about to change. These two incredibly destructive robots are ready to battle it out to determine who will be the new blood champion. Megabyte versus Cobalt, our new blood grand final. Who will win it all? Let's find out now. 3, 2, 1. Let the new blood final begin. It all comes down to this. Full body spinner versus vertical spinner. Cobalt gets the upper hand immediately. Megabyte ain't afraid though, spinning up the speed, but Cobalt pushing them into the corner. They gotta get away from those corners. That's Megabyte's big weakness. If they're near corners, they can't spin up. Oh, huge hit by Cobalt immediately, but they counter shot to the back of Cobalt from Megabyte. This is an amazing grand final so far as the bots collide once again. Cobalt does have the inherent advantage as they're vertical spinner. They get hit upwards. Megabyte, very durable. They've beaten vertical spinners before. They've beaten Disco Inferno. They've beaten Hypershock. And if they play their cards right, they could beat Cobalt. Cobalt all frozen against the screws. And that disc is so small, but also so dense. As they get underneath, Megabyte just grinding underneath them. Megabyte takes a huge shot right there, but Megabyte is durable and tough as nails. They cannot be killed very easily. Same thing goes for Cobalt. Cobalt just hitting them again and again. Already we're a minute into this fight, and oh, Megabyte is stuck on the wall. Can they get down from there? They turn their shell, and they get down from there. Cobalt almost got a KO shot then and there. Megabyte has to be careful. This is just another reason why you got to stay away from the walls as much as they possibly can. Cobalt, oh, huge hit. They got a good, huge hit to the side of Cobalt. Oh, I'm losing my breath here. Cobalt getting hit on the back. They got to avoid that. Cobalt can win this fight if they only attack head on. But if Megabyte hits the sides, they could very well take the whole thing. Pushing them into the corner once again. Cobalt being very controlling, being very aggressive, and giving Megabyte very little time to spin up to full speed. Megabyte really not afraid here as they get another huge hit right there on the side of Cobalt. Cobalt slams into them once again. In that death corner, they keep bringing Megabyte into those corners. But Megabyte, both bots still in one. Oh, huge hit there. Megabyte almost thrown out of the arena then and there. And this is the main advantage of Cobalt. So much power in that disc, just throwing Megabyte around. Oh, another huge hit there. Megabyte has to be careful. Things could go very... Oh, another huge shot across the box into the arena. Oh, and underneath the pulverizer, they're upside down. And Cobalt has a clear advantage right now. Megabyte can self-right. They do then and there. But once again, Cobalt just keeps getting... Oh, huge counter shot to Cobalt. Oh, but then Cobalt comes back. And these two bots want to kill each other at all costs. Both of these bots are so durable. The fact neither of them have died is impressive. We got about 30 seconds left in this fight as Cobalt is flung across the arena once again into that corner. Here comes the pulverizer. This is an amazing grand final fight, but I gotta say, I think Cobalt has the edge so far. They've been able to win most exchanges, but one stray shot to the side or back from Megabyte could be all it takes. Oh, another huge hit there. Thrown across the arena once again. Megabyte upside down. We're running low on time. Only got a few more seconds left to go. And this has been a pretty close fight. Megabyte gets another huge hit on Cobalt. Just throws him across the arena. But Cobalt retaliates once again. The two bots still very dangerous. And oh, another huge hit by Cobalt. Only have a few seconds left in the fight. Oh, and Megabyte thrown on top of the wall. I don't know if he can get down, but it doesn't matter. As the fight is over, we'll be heading to the judges. But that's an amazing impression to leave on the judges as Cobalt just sends Megabyte onto the wall. You see here, when two massive weapons hit each other again and again, you're down to get some excitement. Megabyte got some good shots, but only when he attacked the sides. Whenever they went head-to-head, Cobalt won pretty much every exchange as they threw Megabyte across the box. Oh, huge counter shot by Megabyte there, but most of these exchanges were won by Cobalt. It's going to be very close, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cobalt's aggression and their control won it out, as damage was kind of a non-factor because both bots are so durable. But you see here, just the image of throwing Megabyte through the air might be enough to sway it in the eyes of the judges. We have a unanimous decision. Your winner and new blood champion is Cobalt! And with that, the BattleBots at Home New Blood special has come to a close. At the end of the day, out of 24 brand new machines, only one bot was able to rise above the rest and become the new blood champion. That robot is Cobalt, and we look forward to seeing more of them in BattleBots at Home Season 3. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little special, and thanks for everything. See you next time on BattleBots at Home.